Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Vena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Mano Vishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Saganargunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsham He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Pancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we're reading Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 29th chapter, titled as Explanation of Devotional Service by Kapila to Mata Devhuti. Kapila is explaining to Mata Devhuti about evolution of consciousness. There are different types of living entities, and everybody's consciousness is different. And depending upon the consciousness, one's behavior changes. Now here, Kapila is saying that there are first lower level of consciousness, and then it evolves. Similar to Darwin's theory, but here is the evolution of consciousness and not about the body. So Kapila is saying, Tatrapi sparshavedibhya pravararasa tebhyo gandha vidashreshta tata shabdo vidovaraha. So, among the living entities, there are different types of living entities with different types of sense perception. Now, there are some living entities who have developed the sense of taste, and other living entities who have developed the sense of touch. Now, for example, plants have the sense of touch, but plants do not have a sense of taste. So the evaluation is that first the lower stage evaluation is sense of touch. Then the next stage is touch and the taste. Okay, this is the next level of consciousness. And then so the living entities with the touch and taste are better than just the touch. And then the next step is the living entities who have developed the touch, taste, and the smell. So that is what Kapila Devi is saying here. And then Srila Prabhupada is giving the examples here in the purport that trees have touch, right? And then there are fish who have developed the touch and the taste. And then the snakes who have developed the touch of touch, smell, and hearing, like that. So there are different evaluations of living entities, right? So the next one is the Kapila Devi saying, Rupa Bheda Vidas Tatra Tatascho Bhayato Data Tesham Bahu Pada Shreshtas Chatuspadas Tatodvipad. Now, better than those living entities who have developed the sense perception of sound are those who can distinguish between one form and from another. So there are living entities with touch sensation only, or living entities with touch and taste, or touch, taste and smell, or touch, taste, smell and sound. But now is the living entities who can, next evolution of consciousness is those who can separate one from another. That is the next level of consciousness, right? And better than them are those who have developed upper and lower teeth. And still better are those who have many legs. And better than them are those who have four legs. And the better than those with the four legs are those with the two legs, which are human being, right? So here we can see the evaluation of different living entities with different level of consciousness. Hare Krishna, welcome. Darshan will open in 10 minutes. You can have a seat. We are doing Srimad Bhagavatam, so you can join us. Have a seat here. Have a seat here. What is your name?
Vansh.
Vansh. Better. Have a seat. Better. The darshan will open in 10 minutes. We'll do the Srimad Bhagavatam meanwhile, okay? So we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam shloka, and every day we read one shloka of Srimad Bhagavatam. What is your name?
Smith.
Smith. And you have one more friend? What is your name?
Pujan.
Pujan. Okay. So we are reading one shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam, and here the explanation of different types of people, living entities. It is mentioned here. Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a conversation between Lord Kapila and his mother Devhuti. So there are some living entities on planets which have only sense of touch. Do you know any living entities which have only sense of touch? These are plants, right? Plants can only have, they can't smell, they can't hear, they can't taste, right? Then the next level of evolution of consciousness is the taste. So do you know any living entity which has touch and the taste? No, they can't hear, they can't smell, they can't speak. Fish. Fish can have touch and taste, but fish can't hear anything. Right? And then the next level of evolution of living entity is those who can have touch, taste, and smell. Do you know any living entity which can have touch, taste, and smell? So now it's your time to think about it. And then the next evaluation is touch, taste, smell, and taste. Sorry, touch, taste, smell, and hearing. Sorry. Fourth evaluation. Like snake has all these facilities, Snake can have touch, smell, they can hear, and they can what did I say? Smell also. So this is and then the next level of evaluation is touch, taste, smell, hearing, and speaking. Right? So there is the next level of evolution. So there are different types of living entities which are explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. Now this is scientific, is that right? Our Shastras are very scientific. Then next shloka here, Kapila Devi is saying, Rupa Bheda Vidas Tatra Tataschobhyata Dvata Tesham Bahupada Shreshta Chatuspadas Tato Dvipada. So better than those living entities who can perceive the sound are those who can distinguish between the two forms. There are living entities who can have the sound, but now are the living entities who can distinguish good and bad, which is right and which is wrong, which is male and female. Then better than them are those who have developed upper and lower jaw teeth. And better are those who have many legs. And better than those with the many legs are those with the four legs. And better than them are still with two legs. Who are the two legs? You guys, right? So here it's very nicely explained in Srimad Bhagavatam that how the living entities evolve. And all these living entities have different level of consciousness. You understand? The insect consciousness is protection and food, while the higher level of animals have a consciousness to attack. And what is the consciousness of human? It is mix of all. You understand? So Srila Prabhupada here explains. You want to read from the screen? It is said that
certain birds, such as
crows
can distinguish one form from another. Living entities that have many legs like the West, are better than plants and grasses, which have no legs. Four-legged animals are better than many-legged living entities, and better than the animals is the human being who has only two legs.
Ah, so the example is given by Srila Prabhupada. Crow can distinguish one from another. There are some birds who can distinguish, right? So the next one, Shloka Kapila Devi is saying to Mata Devahuti, Tato Varnascha Chatarvas Tesham Brahmana Uttama Brahmanes api Vedagno Hi Arthogno Abhyadikas Tataha. Now, among the human beings, also there are different types of human beings, right? So, what is the written translation?
Among human beings, the society which is divided according to quality and work is best. And in that society, the intelligent men who are designated as Brahmanas are best. Among the Brahmanas, one who has studied the Vedas is the best. The among the and among the Brahmanas who have studied the Vedas, one who knows actual
Purport of Vedas is the best, right? So now among the human beings, there are different types of human beings, right? Some human beings they do not know what they are doing, but then in the Vedic culture we have varna and varnashrama system. So there is Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Then there is Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha ashram or Sannyas ashram, like that. So among those, intelligent class of men are called as Brahmanas. Brahmana does not mean you have taken birth in a Brahman family or one who has a 25 paisa ka dora lagate hain. वो Brahmana नहीं है. Word intelligent. What is that intelligent means? One who has studied the Vedas. One who has studied Vedas. It's not that Brahmana born in Brahman family and then eating pan mawa. It doesn't work like that. So one who knows the Vedas. And then among those who have studied the Vedas, who knows the actual purport of Veda is better. So this is what is the human society. So purport, Srila Prabhupada says, want to read?
The system of whole classification in human society according to quality and work is very scientific. This system of Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Sudras has now become
Vitiated.
as the present caste system in India, but it appears that this system has been current a very long time since it is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavad and Bhagavad Gita unless there is such a division of the social orders in human society, including the intelligent class, the martial class, and the mercantile class, and the liberal class. There is always confusion as to who is to work for what purpose. A person trained to stage of understanding the absolute truth is a Brahmana, and when such a Brahmana is Vedagna, he understands the purpose of Veda. The purpose of Veda is to understand the absolute. One who understands the absolute truth in three phases, namely Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan, and who understands the term Bhagavan to mean the supreme personality of Godhead is considered to be
Best to
best
the
of Brahmanas.
Vaishnavas. Very nice. Thank you so much. So now currently there is a caste system. People don't believe in the caste system. Actually, caste system does exist also. But what has happened is that people have misused the caste system. Actually, caste system does not mean that Kshatriya is lower and Brahmana is highest. Not like that. Caste system is just like a organization system. Where like we have a head, then we have arms, then we have a belly, then we have legs. Do you think leg is less important than arm? Both are important, right? So similarly, should Brahmana is the head, which are intelligent class, who will give the knowledge. Kshatriya is the arms, who will give the protection. Vaishyas are the business class, who will produce the food products, and distribute. And Shudras are the servants. So they help Brahmana, they help Kshatriya, they have Vaishya. Actually, without Shudra, you cannot do anything. Because they are the ones, like plumber, mechanic, all these are. No, Shudra doesn't mean, in India, untouchable. It is not like that. But people have then, they converted into caste system by birth. Actually, caste system was by karma. Like say Parshuramji, he was born in a Brahmana family, but he did the work of Kshatriya. So then Vishwamitra was born as a Kshatriya, but he became a Maharshi Vishwamitra. He was Brahmana by his karma. So, like Prahlad was born in a, Prahlad? Prahlad Maharaj was born in a demoniac family, Hiranyakashipu, demon. But he became the greatest devotee. You understand? So, you don't get any rights by birth. A doctor's son cannot be a doctor. Is that right? He has to get the qualification to become a doctor. So, Brahmana's son cannot be a Brahmana. It's called Bijabandhu. But when he has qualification, then he become Brahmana. You understand? So like that. So that is explained by Srila Prabhupada here. And then the last words for today is Arthagnata samsayat cheta tata shreyan swakarmakrit mukta sangha tato bhuyan adogdha dharma matmana. So here Lord says, better than Brahmana who knows the purpose of Vedas is he who can dissipate all the doubts, and better than him is one who strictly follows the Brahminical principles. Better than him is the one who is liberated from all material contamination, and better than him is a pure devotee who executes devotional service without expectation of the reward. So who is the best? Devotee, Bhagavan ka bhakta. Best is one who is the devotee of Lord. So here Lord Kapila Dev is saying that there might be Brahmana also who knows the purpose of Vedas, who knows the Vedas. But better than him is the person who is the bhakta. One who does not know anything, but who is dedicated and surrendered to Krishna. He remembers Krishna's name all the time. He follows the devotional path. That is the best part of the life. So in our life, we've seen all the evolution, from a small insect up to the 4 varnas and ashramas. But Kapila Devi is saying that best among them is the bhakta. So our purpose of human life is to become the devotee. If you really want to be best, everybody wants to be best, right, in their life? Yeah. So how can you become best? By becoming a devotee of Krishna. That is what is mentioned here. So Srila Prabhupada ji explains that the highest perfectional stage of human life is to become the Vaishnava. Vaishnava means to become devotee of Vishnu or Lord Krishna. So that is the most important part of the human life. And in Bhagavad Gita also Lord Krishna says that Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. And in the 12th chapter also Lord Krishna says that one who is very dear to him, so one who is surrendered to Lord Krishna is very dear to him. So if you really want to achieve the best of our life, then what we have to do? We have to become the devotee of Lord Krishna. Otherwise, we are just like animals. So it is our choice. I hope you got something out of it. I